She was a mother, and her love for her son and husband was exemplary.
Hello. Talaga ba?
But on that eve, Mafia barged into her home, killing her husband and son as their lives mean nothing. They did it not knowing what is about to hit them. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. The movie kicks off with Maria, a masked assassin, sneaking into a heavily guarded facility. Using her speed and the cover of darkness, she swiftly takes out the guards one by one. She's heading for a specific target, but when she reaches her destination, all she finds is a terrified woman and her daughter. Suddenly, a gunshot rings out and everything fades to black. Cut to the present, and Maria wakes up beside her husband, Bert. After a sweet kiss, she checks on their daughter, Min Min, then heads to the kitchen to whip up breakfast. Bert, however, has to rush out the door for a big day. He's helping out with a meet and greet for governor candidate Villanueva. Maria, being skeptical of politicians, thinks Bert should have stayed for breakfast and warns him that all politicians are the same, implying they can't be trusted. Meanwhile, Villanueva is holding a press conference, denying any connections to a notorious drug lord named Ricardo. He promises to take Ricardo down if elected as governor. On the other side, Ricardo is watching the press conference on TV, furious that Villanueva, someone he helped put in power, is now throwing him under the bus. In a fit of rage, Ricardo confronts two supposed traitors. After a speech on loyalty, he shoots one of his own men, revealing the real traitor, and orders his female guards to execute the captives. Ricardo's anger escalates, and he wants Villanueva dealt with before the situation spirals further. Caleb, one of his henchmen, offers to take care of it, but another associate, Victor, criticizes Caleb for his previous failures. Despite this, Ricardo greenlights Caleb's plan, reminding everyone that he's the one in charge. Later, Maria picks up Min Min from school and gives Bert a call to plan a family dinner. Over dinner, Bert and Min Min praise Maria's cooking, and that evening, the family cozies up to watch another Villanueva press conference. Min Min falls asleep on their laps, and while Bert seems to think Villanueva might be trustworthy, Maria teases him about believing in a politician, which eventually annoys Bert. She quickly reassures him that she's only messing around. During a Villanueva rally, Caleb's men are keeping an eye on the security, prepping for their upcoming attack. Coincidentally, Maria, Bert, and Min Min are at the rally too, and they get caught on one of the surveillance videos. From his car, Caleb spots Maria in the footage and sends his men after her, but she's already left the event. Back at home, Maria and Bert get into an argument because Bert seems more interested in the governor than his own family. Maria, fed up, switches off the TV. Meanwhile, at the docks, Victor is busy torturing a man for information. He calls Caleb to check in on the mission and offers backup, but Caleb brushes him off. After the victim passes out from the pain, Victor cruelly revives him to continue the brutal interrogation. When Ricardo arrives and the man still refuses to talk, Victor shoots him in the head without hesitation. Caleb, while sparring with his trainer, has a flashback to a conversation with his girlfriend, Lily. She had told him she couldn't live this violent life anymore, and Caleb had promised to talk to Ricardo after their last mission. Back in the present, Caleb beats his trainer mercilessly, breaking his arm, then orders his men to clean up the mess. Over breakfast, Bert tells Maria he's going to spend less time on political rallies and more time with his family. Maria is touched and promises to make him a special dinner to celebrate. At the same time, Caleb gathers his team, assigning some to tail the governor while he focuses on another priority. He sends his crew a photo of Maria and Min Min, giving them orders to capture both. Caleb's men also kidnap Bert's friend, Leo, and torture him for information. Despite Leo's desperate pleas, Caleb shows no mercy, ripping out his fingernails and stabbing him in the leg. While walking through a marketplace, Maria senses she's being followed. She tries to shake off the men, but they corner her, making a big mistake. Maria quickly dispatches them with her lethal skills, though she gets hurt in the process. When Caleb learns that his men failed, he's furious and decides to lead the next attack himself. Panicked, Maria rushes home and tells Bert and Min Min to pack up. They need to leave immediately. Bert demands answers, and Min Min starts crying. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Bert opens it to find Leo, who's immediately shot in the head as Caleb and his men storm the house. Maria disarms one attacker, but Caleb grabs Bert, calling Maria Lily. To save Bert, Maria surrenders. However, when Min Min runs toward her father, Caleb shoots her dead, devastating both Maria and Bert. A flashback reveals that on the night Maria encountered a woman and her daughter, she couldn't kill them. Instead, she turned on Caleb, shooting him and his henchmen to help the mother and daughter escape. Back in the present, Maria and Bert fight back against Caleb's men. Maria takes down several attackers, but Bert struggles and is shot while protecting her, though she doesn't realize it right away. When Maria finally confronts Caleb, they engage in a brutal fight. Maria shoots Caleb in the stomach, but he survives due to a bulletproof vest, and his men rescue him before Maria can finish the job. As the chaos subsides, Maria holds Min's lifeless body, heartbroken over losing her family. After saying her final goodbyes, she leaves, haunted by her last conversation with Caleb and the immense pain he's caused her. Later, Maria heads to another city, arriving at a cafe that serves as a front for a crime syndicate. There, she reunites with her old mentor, Sir Greg, who's not happy to see her. He knows the trouble she brings and, in his old age, prefers to stay out of it. However, Maria reminds him of his past in the criminal world. Meanwhile, back at Maria's house, now a crime scene, a detective working for Ricardo informs him of a lead connecting him to the scene. Ricardo coldly orders the detective to handle it. Greg, after seeing Maria's injuries from a previous fight, reluctantly agrees to help her. She reveals her plan to kill Caleb, which Greg warns against. But when she mentions that Caleb killed her family, he sympathizes and offers her a place to stay. Days later, Ricardo and his partner, Victor, have a tense conversation. Ricardo is stressed from dealing with both Villanueva and Maria, whom he knows as Lily. Victor offers to take care of it all so Ricardo can step back. At the same time, Caleb gives his lieutenant, Miru, Maria's location at Greg's cafe, but warns her not to mess with Greg due to a standing agreement. Miru shows up at the cafe, but Greg sticks to his word, reminding her of the deal. A fight breaks out between one of Greg's men and Miru, and though his guy is tough, Miru takes him down easily. Meanwhile, Maria is not at the cafe. She's busy raiding one of Ricardo's drug facilities, where she eliminates guards and sets the building on fire before leaving. Back at Greg's, he tells Maria about Miru's visit and scolds her for getting rusty. He accidentally calls her Lily, but Maria corrects him, saying Lily is gone. She's left grieving her family's loss. It's also revealed that Greg was once ordered to kill Maria after she betrayed the organization, but he faked her death instead to help her disappear. Later, Victor informs Caleb about the destroyed drug factory and announces that he's taking over operations, accusing Caleb of being too obsessed with Maria to handle his job. Caleb pulls a gun on Victor in anger, but Victor calls his bluff, labeling him a coward. After parting, Caleb warns Miru not to fail him again. Maria watches footage of the factory she burned down in a restaurant when Greg arrives, informing her that she's making headlines. He leads her to a hidden stash of weapons, offering her anything she needs. Maria grabs a knife, but also mentions she'll need a dress. She heads to a nightclub, Dressed to Kill, where she locks eyes with Miru. Both women go to the restroom, where tensions boil over as they argue about being Caleb's upgrade. The confrontation quickly turns into a brutal fight, both evenly matched, until Maria smashes Miru's head into the vanity, killing her. Guards rush in, but meet the same fate. After dispatching more men, Maria confronts the club manager, forcing him to tell her Caleb's location. Before leaving, she makes him swallow a handful of drugs and dumps his money on the floor. Meanwhile, Ricardo orders Victor to handle Villanueva and let Caleb deal with Maria, despite Victor's protests. Back at Greg's, Maria is offered cash and an escape plan, but their conversation is cut short when Caleb calls, arranging a meeting at the docks. Caleb informs Victor about the meetup, expecting backup. However, Victor plans to wipe out everyone, including Caleb. At the docks, Maria sneaks in, eliminating guards one by one until gunfire alerts Caleb's men. Though they try to overwhelm her, Maria fights back, taking them down with ease. Caleb then orders Wednesday and her squad to attack, but instead, they turn on Caleb's remaining men. Just as Victor arrives with reinforcements, Greg provides cover from a hidden sniper position, forcing Victor to retreat. Greg accuses Victor of being the traitor Ricardo's been looking for. Maria continues her rampage, cutting through Wednesday's crew and facing Caleb's last bodyguard. With no bullets left, she pulls out her knife and prepares for a final showdown with Caleb. The two clash in a fierce battle, ending up in the mud. Caleb tries to convince Maria she can't escape her true nature, but she overpowers him and slits his throat, ending the fight. Later, Ricardo and Victor stand over Caleb's body, with Ricardo telling Victor he needs to avenge his brother. Victor, however, says nothing. In the final scene, Greg hands Maria a bag full of cash, and the two share a quiet drink, reflecting on everything that's happened.